Happy Tuesday! Thank you for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. It's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour here. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way and ask your questions and just come hang out with me. So tonight we are continuing on the Owl Embroidery. So we did all the cute little satin stitches last night, the satin stitch wings there. And we are going to do the satin stitch nose, and then we're going to start all the back stitching tonight. We'll end on the French knot. So there's 3 stitches in this design. This is our Owl Embroidery kit that we are having a sale on right now, you guys. So I'm having a kind of a flash sale, a 50% off sale. So 50%. I've never done a sale with that big of a discount before, but it is 50% off through Thursday, so through Halloween, through the end of Thursday, you can get the owl. There is a code that you have to put in, and it shows there right up on the picture when you click the link. So I do have the link for that below here, otherwise you can just check it out in the sales section on penguinandfish.com. And I'm also having a giveaway here, so if you share this video or any of the other videos that we'll be doing for the owl, so yesterday's video, today's video, Wednesdays or Thursdays, then you'll be entered to win the actual piece that I'm stitching here when we're done. I will send it off to one of you guys, so be sure to share to be entered into that. Oh, if you did, so Dawn says she ordered the cute owl today. Awesome, thank you so much, Dawn. All of today's orders have gone out, so you might actually get them, you might even get them by Thursday. So keep an eye out. So first round of orders have gone out. Anyone who orders it tonight or tomorrow morning, they'll send out tomorrow morning, so you'll get them pretty quick yet. So, all right, you guys, thank you again for joining me. I'm going to flip you around, and we will get started stitching for tonight. All right, here we go. I took it out of the embroidery hoop. I've started to try and make this a habit, but I try and take it out of the hoop when I'm not stitching, just so I don't crease my fabric so much. It has time to relax. You could also wrap your hoop. I'll show you one of those. You could wrap fabric around the inner hoop like I've done here, and that will help prevent some of the creasing. But we're doing this pretty quick, and I'm going to finish this in the hoop, so I don't actually mind so much because I kind of have it centered already, and we'll press it and everything too. So I'm not too worried about that. Oh, before we get started, there was a question last night about my emergency craft project. So I always have an emergency craft project on me. This is in my bag that I carry with me. It's this cute little pencil case. I actually have a few things in here, but it does contain my emergency craft project in this little, so here's what I have in here. I have just some business cards, so when I travel, I have business cards. I have a tiny notebook, like a tiny little sketchbook, and an itty-bitty mechanical pencil. I went on Amazon and I Googled, what's this, or I did an Amazon search of the smallest mechanical pencil. So I got this itty-bitty one. I'll have to find a link for that and put it on here when we're done. Or I'll throw it in the Penguin and Fish crafters bag, or Penguin and Fish crafters group when we're done here. But here is my craft project. So it's actually a crochet pattern. It's pretty worn out, and it didn't print really well. But I've never crocheted, it's for a doily, and I've never crocheted a doily with all, it's like drawn out almost. It's like a picture of what it's going to end up being. So that was kind of what was new to me. I always have to have something new or different for, something I haven't done before in each project, and that's what this project is about, is that I haven't stitched from a grid like that before. So I'm stitching with this sulky, the 12 weight cotton petites, and I'm just stitching up this doily. So here's where I'm at. I had to switch colors, so this is kind of like one of those ombre ones because I run out of floss. So I just ran out of floss in this row here, and I've switched to a slightly darker purple. You can kind of see. You can kind of tell that it gets, there we go. So it's a little lighter and then a little darker. And then I have one in waiting here that is a little darker still. So that'll be on the outside. Oh, coated. Is that what it's called, Gina? When instead of having the pattern written out, it is all like drawn out almost. So like a dot, it's hard to see because this is a really poor printout, but a dot is a chain stitch, and these larger T's are a double crochet. So I think that's basically all that's really in this pattern is double crochets and chain stitches. But anyway, and I have the row marked, the one that I'm on, so I'm on this kind of arc right here. So I've done from here to here, and now I gotta do all this stuff here. Oh, Gina, you just made it up. I like it. Let's call it code, the crochet code. So anyway, I always have a project with me, and this is kind of the current project here. I'll just fold it up again. So this is one of those ones that I'll eventually get done. Oh, so all right. So for this is awfully small. I am stitching with 12 weight thread, which is tiny. I mean, it's the same. It's basically the same as this Aurifil. This is just a different brand, but it's that, you can sew with it. It's like thick sewing thread. So it's tiny, and I'm using this is my grandma's old crochet hook, and it is a size 10. I'm thinking it's a US 10 1.3 millimeter crochet hook, but look at that teeny tiny hook on the end of there. It's so small, but it used to be my grandma's, and I love stitching with it, and I think it's just so silly to be stitching with this tiny thread, and I just have fun. It's a great project to have around because it's monotonous. I can set it down at any point and know exactly where I am. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. And, this has been months and months, and actually, I gotta put the crochet hook back in here too. I hadn't worked on this for months, and then, I haven't gone on a big trip in a while either, though, so I broke it out on my trip here, worked on it a little bit again. So even after months and months not working on it, I could just pick up, I knew what row I was on, and I could kind of tell from what my stitches were where I was at in the row, and you can tell where your row ends. So I knew where I was at, and I could just start. Even if I just did 3 stitches, I would know where I'm at. I probably should put it in a little bit bigger bag. But yeah, so this is kind of my little go-to, my mini sketchbook, my mini pencil, and my emergency craft project. So anyway, back to stitching. But yeah, I just really, it's in my bag. I have a bigger bag that I carry around that has, my computer and everything in. And there's just a big pocket in there that this is exactly the size of the pocket, so I can just slip it right in. It's the perfect little size for that. Bags upon bags, mini bags and bigger bags. That's that's kind of, if you look into any of my larger bags, it'll just be filled with smaller bags. Smaller bags of organized things, in theory.
So Jackie, that's interesting. Knitting and crochet goes over your head. Give me quilting, embroidery, and other crafts to get the creative juices flowing. So it's funny. I actually use knitting and crochet as my total chill. I don't need any creative juices flowing. It's just like my monotonous. It's like the meditation, just like in and out, like stitch, stitch. There's like my brain can just shut off just by counting. Like I'm just counting. That's all I'm doing. I'm counting the 2 every single double crochet. You know what I mean? So for me, when I don't want to be as creative, I don't want to think. I just want to just chill or keep my brain occupied. That's when I pull out the knitting and crochet. All right, guys. When I want to get more creative and have to make more active decisions, that's when I come to embroidery and sewing. When I want to feel accomplished and creative. But when I just want to just chill, that's my emergency craft project or my knitting and crocheting. All right, so we did the satin stitch last night on here, and all we have left for satin stitch is the little beak. And I think we were going to try a padded satin stitch. So a padded satin stitch is when it is slightly raised up. And, you know, you can already see it is sort of raised already. The satin stitches, look how satiny and shiny it looks. But a padded one, we're going to make it raised even more. So I'm going to grab my thread. It is this orange color. So let's cut off our 24 inches or so. We can probably do a little bit smaller because we're just doing this small little beak, but I like a 24-inch cut. And I'm going to stick to the 3 strands of floss. Again, the strands determine how thick your stitches are going to be. I like the 3 strands. So all right, let's divide these up. So I'm going to grab just one little thread from the 6 strands, and I'm going to yank that out. You can just pull real quick. It'll look like it's going to turn into a giant knot, but it actually relaxes. This is the fastest way to get 3 strands. So again, I'm going to grab the one. You have to do it one at a time, otherwise you will have some crazy big knots. And one more. Like I tried it with 2. I tried to pull 2 out of here before, but it didn't work. All right, so I'm going to set this one to the side. We'll put together these strands again. All right, so to make a padded satin stitch, so like a raised satin stitch, we are going to put some stitches around where we're going to stitch as a base. So all right, I'm going to thread my needle here, do the little pinch method. All right, and I'm going to do in a way knot like we were doing last night too. All right, so here we go. So to raise this up, I'm going to stitch a back stitch kind of on the inside edge of this line. So that back stitch is going to raise it up like a stitch height. So, all right, let's start the way knot. I'm gonna just go from the top to the bottom here. So this is giving us that thread that we can tuck in later. All right, so let's go kind of on the inside of that line, and we'll just do a couple of back stitches. Again, this is just to kind of get a level higher. So we're gonna this padded satin stitch should be like a stitch height higher than the wings in theory. So you can actually do any sort of stitch. I know some people do like a chain stitch, but a back stitch should be just fine. I'm gonna do 2 little stitches here. And this is a very small shape that we're filling in. so we probably don't need this, but if you are doing a padded satin stitch, you may want to actually put some stitches in the middle to add some height to the middle as well. So like little seed stitches, so just little bitty lines here and there in every direction. So I'm just going to add one in the middle here. There we go. So that'll add some height to the middle. All right, and now we're just going to do the satin stitch. So I think I'm going to go, you know, for the wings we went from left to right. I think for this we're going to go from top to bottom, just so we get that nice point at the bottom. So we have a nice pointy beak. So, and I'm actually going to start in the middle, I think, so I can get that beak going how I want it. So I'm on the line here, and I'm going to go directly across there. So now we're covering up some of our back stitches and that seed stitch in the middle. It's going to be a little bit higher. All right, and I'm going to go on one side, just like how we did yesterday. I go from one side to the other and back to the beginning side. But I'm going to do the left side of the beak here, and then I'll jump over to the right side of the beak. And oh, it really is popping off a little bit more. Oh, this is cute. So this is a neat thing to do for the beak, because the beak's going to look like it's a little off of the surface now, which is kind of cool. I'm going to get one more stitch in on this side, I think. It's subtle, but it is floating a bit higher there. It has a little bit more shadow. All right, I'm going to go to the other side. We didn't do the right side of this yet. Yeah, it's definitely a bit taller. All right, and I think we're good. So it's hard to tell, but okay, there you can kind of see. So I'm just trying to get it focused here. I think let me tuck in the edges, because my phone wants to focus on that my little away knot snippets. But I think once I tuck the edges in, I think we'll be able to focus. But it's about twice the height of the wings. So the wings, we did not do the padded satin stitch. Although it would have been awfully cute, I think. All right, here's that away knot that I started up with. I'm gonna just snip that away. So there's my knot. I can throw that away, and now I'm left with that long piece of thread again, and I can tuck that in to the back of the beak as well. So I'm just sewing back and forth 3 times into the back of the beak. So again, I'm doing this so I don't have any knots on the back. And the main reason for that is I don't want my thread to accidentally get caught on any knots. So this way, when you're stitching, it's just going to glide over everything on the back. And the bonus is it makes a really, really, really clean back to your embroidery, which looks extra fancy. So this is the back. It could be the front. But there we go. So let's just kind of look at the side of it again. I'm just trying to focus. So it's subtle, but it is double the height, really, of the wings here. And with a satin stitch, that's going to come across in the shadow. So like how the light hits it. I mean, you can see it's got a lot of shadow on this side here on the bottom. Maybe a little bit more than the wings. It is subtle, but it is kind of fun. You can actually go even further and make your stitches even higher. You can double up your outline stitches, or even put cloth or felt underneath to make extra padding and stuff it with batting. So there is ways to even make it poofier, but that is one way to do the stitches and then stitch on top of it. So awesome, you guys. That is it for satin stitching. He's already looking shiny and cute. Let's move on to the back stitches. Oh my gosh, Nolene, it's smoky there today. That freaks me out. Okay, sending good vibes your way. Hopefully it rains. That is scary, scary. All those fires and blah, freaks me out. All right, I think we're gonna start with this purple outline, and then we'll jump and do this outline, and then we'll do the eyeballs, and then maybe I'll do this woot right here, and then maybe start in on the orange French knots, and once I get the French knots orange all the way down here, I'll get these two little feet. I like to kind of map out what I'm gonna do beforehand. So I'm doing the outline, the main outline first, because I want this eye to be on top of that outline. So I'm saving this eye for after I get that. So let's do that dark purple. I think I already have a piece cut here, so I just have to separate the 3 strands again. So isolating the one, zoop. That's 1, 2, and 3. Quick and easy. Especially with satin stitch, you do want to pull your threads out like that because the threads will lie next to each other flatter, which makes it shinier. Shiny, shiny. Okay. So I am not going to do the away knot this time because I have plenty of other stitches here that I can weave in the backs of before I start. So I think I'm going to weave, maybe we'll start here. I'm going to weave into the backs of this, and then I'll probably jump up and I'll do this line here. Again, I'm mapping out my path so I don't have to pop around everywhere. So I'm gonna start here. I'm going to stitch this line. Then I'll get these couple stitches here, then I'll go around and do the whole loop. Then I don't have to jump around. It's kind of like I'm taking one path, which is always kind of my goal. It doesn't always work out that way. All right, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, so I end up near where I want to start. Oh, you made a hexie quilt with an owl in the center of each hexie flower. Oh my gosh, how sweet. That sounds just so adorable. Oh, how fun. Gosh, a hexie quilt too. That's a lot of work. All right, so instead of starting with the away knot like I did up here, I just wove into the backs of the stitches. I didn't want to do that here because from here to here just seemed like too big of a jump. So I started that in its own little away knot. Okay, let's jump up here. So now I'm going to just stitch over these guys with some back stitches. All right, so for a back stitch, I'm making kind of large stitches. I don't always, this is maybe a little over 1/8 of an inch big for my stitch, not quite a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/16. How about that? We'll call it 3/16 of an inch. On straightaways, that's what I call it. So like just straight lines like this, I tend to make my stitches a little bit bigger. So on my embroideries, all my stitches aren't exactly the same every single time. Like, every stitch, they may vary in size. I know some people like to get every stitch exactly the same size, and you can. But I like splitting hairs a little bit. So making a little bit bigger stitches on the straightaways, the straight lines, I think speeds up the process a little bit. So allows me to stitch a little bit faster. But on curves, like these eyes here, and when we get down here, this little arc there, those I will make a lot smaller stitches, because the more stitches, when you're doing a curve, the more stitches you do, the more impression of a curve you can get, because we're just making straight lines, right? Every stitch is just a little straight line. So if I have more tiny little straight lines, it's going to appear more curved than if I just do big stitches. Oh, you're just getting the smoke by you. Ugh, it's scary. Yeah, we're kind of in the equal modes now with Australia. Like you guys are going into, oh gosh, so you guys are going into your spring, summer. So that's yeah, got to be scary for fires, I would think. We're doing the opposite here, going into like the super dry fall and the winter. I think that just that's super dry, and then you have all the leaves everywhere. All right, I'm headed down this way now. This again is a pretty good straightaway. I'm gonna rotate now. I always just kind of rotate my work so it just feels the best in my hand. I don't always hold it straight. All right, we're approaching our satin stitch here, and this is where, remember, I did the satin stitch first because now with the back stitches I can kind of cover up my ragged edges here. So we're gonna get to cover those up now, which is nice. So I'm just gonna go down the edge. I'm actually using the same holes as the satin stitch so I can get these stitches nice and close. Gosh, we are almost out of thread already. We have the other piece of 3 ready, and got this dark purple. One thing that I'm doing too to keep my back of the embroidery nice and clean is I am holding my left hand here, and I am feeling the needle as it comes through, and I'm feeling the thread as it comes through. My finger is kind of always over the hole where this is happening. So like as I pull this through, I'm actually like feeling the thread with my finger there, and I can feel, and I'm doing it on the way back up too. So like here's my next stitch. I'm pulling on this side, but this side I'm feeling the thread. It's going through my fingers, and I will be able to tell if I get any knots, if any knots pop up, or if it feels shorter than it should. So I'm using my left hand as just kind of another eyeball, really. So that'll help prevent knots as well. Oh, that's, I didn't think about that, Gretchen. So Gretchen says, I'm glad you're doing this. I might not have known to embroider these lines. Yeah, and you don't have to. It's going to look cute if you don't as well. Maybe it'll even look cuter. I don't know, that'd be kind of fun to just have it stop purple here and then jump down there, but I think this is cute too. I could even outline them. That would be kind of neat. I should try it once without stitching down here. But I do like doing it because it does kind of cover up that jagged edge. I mean, I guess I'm leaving this edge exposed a little bit, but that's okay. Just fun. So I might have just enough floss to do this little curved leg bit. So now here, ooh, see, that felt funny. Oh, yep, see, I had a little knot. It came out, but I could feel something was going wrong back there. All right, so once I get down to this curved part, I'm going to make my stitches a bit smaller. Oh, you like this because it defines the body a bit, separates the wings from the body a little. One other thing that I do sometimes is I will, just trying to show the back, I will kind of, with my finger, I will move my thread out of the way, and then I will make my next stitch. So let me do that. So here's my next stitch. So then I've moved with my back finger that thread out of the way. So when I pull this thread through, it won't kind of tangle up on it, and then I will kind of let go or just feel where it goes into. So my backhand is doing a little work here. All right, I'm going to just go to the top of this leg, and we will weave in this end. Yeah, I could probably get one more stitch out of here. Let's get one more stitch. Oh, you want to do one of the oh, you want to do the owl, like the big hedgehog on the wall? That would be kind of fun. You know what? We should do a giant embroidery like that. I don't think we did that. I just did that on my own, I think, because I wanted a background behind me here. Oh, I'm getting way more stitches out of this thread than I thought. This one might be my last one. It would be fun to do a large embroidery. Ooh, I might be pushing it there. I might not have quite enough thread to weave in. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but got a few extra stitches out of there. Yeah, maybe we'll do that as one of our projects. We got just like a real big embroidery. That can be a little trick, transferring the design. That can be a bit annoying with those, so maybe I'll have to think that through a little bit, and maybe we can come up with an easy way to transfer the design on something that big. Okay, I'm going to grab my other, this is the remaining 3 strands of thread. I'm going to just start right away. So if you guys didn't catch, this is how I thread my needle. I don't lick the ends. I don't hold it out like out to here like this or anything. What I do is I first of all, if it looks kind of fuzzy or something, I will snip the end. Just starting with a nice fresh cut end, and then I will pinch that in my fingers like this, and you can kind of roll your fingers. So you unroll and you can kind of see it there. So it's making it flat by doing that, but also as you unroll, the moment you see it there, I put the eye of my needle over it. Just like that. And then I can kind of keep undoing my fingers, which will force that thread a little bit more, and it's forcing it through the eye of the needle, and then I can just grab it and pull. But I have not found anything easier than that. I mean, maybe I should get a needle threader sometime and play with that a little bit, but just that pinch, and the slowly undoing your pinch, the moment you see that thread, just kind of wiggle your needle up in there, and then keep undoing your fingers, and it'll kind of push through. Still that blood blister. I squished my finger in the door. Oh, the llama! The llama would be fun. All right. 1, 2, 3. We'll go that way. Yeah. So you can blow up the design. The trick for the larger thing, you can blow up the design at Kinko's. Gosh, is it even called Kinko's anymore? I used to work at a Kinko's. I think it's just a FedEx store now. But because I think FedEx bought Kinko's. But yeah, if you use their plotter machine, that's like what architects use. You should be able to make a large printout for like $2, not their banner printer, which is like $30 or something. But you can also just tile a printout and then tape it all together. The trick though is getting that printout onto your fabric. Like you can trace you can trace through it. But if you're using like a monk's cloth, like I did for mine, it can actually be kind of difficult. But I have a different idea. So in my book, I did do this in my book, and I stitched it on a normal muslin like this, which is easy to trace through. So I traced my design through the muslin, and then I put a piece of batting underneath right away, and that would hide, the batting hides all your stitches, and it adds a cute little padding to all your stitches. So I think we'll do it that way. Okay. I got a sort of idea for that now of how we can do a big embroidery. Gosh, maybe we'll just have to do that. That sounds like fun. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. Ooh, embroidery on velvet. I have never done that. That would be fun. Ooh, velvet is like hot right now too. Velvet, like hair ties and velvet, hair clips, velvet skirts and stuff. Oh, especially with winter and everything now, that's a big fabric again. But like those gold, those like kind of earthy gold and burgundy and green and terracotta, those color velvets definitely are popular right now. Gosh, I wonder if I can find some of that somewhere. That'd be a fun experiment. I haven't stitched on there before. Maybe we should do like some silk stitching on the velvet. Then I'm gonna try the silk embroidery thread too. Oh man. Oh, velvet hats, so funny. Haven't seen those. But I believe it. It's definitely a trending fabric right now. It's just funny. It does look nice though, like a nice rich color. So like rich, soft feeling fabric, and those jewel tone colors are fun. What would you, I suppose like a pillow, a velvet pillow. Oh yeah, like barrettes. Ooh yes, royal navy blue, emerald green, royal navy blue in the velvet. Ugh, it's also pretty. I was wondering what you would make out of it. But it would make it like a really fun pillow. And that would be super easy. We could do some like really like cute little decorative floral corners or something on a pillow or something. Oh, you did a crazy quilt pillow with embroidery and velvet. Oh, fun. Ooh, yeah, that'd be neat. You love velvet, like light pink with deep red trim. Oh, that sounds pretty. Oh, that'd be like gorgeous, like Christmas pillows. Pink with red velvet. Pink velvet with red velvet. Gosh, where does one buy velvet? Does Joann's or something have something like that? I haven't bought non-quilting weight stuff except for the felt for our last project in a while. I'm not sure even where you find that stuff. Ooh, embossing on velvet. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, now I want some like fun velvet, rich velvet. Oh, an old book. You can get velvet at Joann's? Yeah, I'm sure they must have that sort of stuff. If it's trending, they probably have it. Next time I'm over there, I will have to peek. You know what? I'm gonna have to dig in my stash. There might be some hiding in there somewhere. Something that I've saved from like a million years ago, like literally probably like a decade ago. I got some random stuff in there. I bet you there's some velvet something. I will have to dig. Never know what you might find in that stash. Oh, that's a good point. Lucy says, do you use short nap velvet? So that's like how high the fuzz is. I would think the thread would get buried in the nap. That is a good point. I wonder. Crushed velvet is a bit lighter and easy to handle. Huh, now I want to experiment. I wonder if, what if it was more like a cruel embroidery, like where you stitch with a bigger needle and bigger thread, like you stitch with like yarn or like wool yarn or something. I wonder if that's the way to go. You bought some crushed velvet yarn? Whoa! That sounds fun. Huh. But it's just pretty and soft and fuzzy. Blue velvet. There's a black velvet. Yep. There's a black velvet song. I almost started singing it, but I think I'll spare you. Oh, Hobby Tex used to use black velvet to paint on. Oh, interesting. Yeah, remember those? Oh, yeah, those like velvet paintings and stuff. Oh, that'd be fun. That would actually be a goofy, fun project. Do some like glow or like some black light paint on black velvet or something. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, I'm not gonna finish this with I'm not gonna finish this purple outline with this thread. I'm definitely gonna need to get more thread, but that's fine. I have this much to go, and I actually have to do this little bit around here too. Oh, you got velvet at Michael's? Huh. Velvet Elvis. Velvet Elvis. I like the word velvet. Alright, I think this is my last stitch here. Let's try and get to the end here. Nope, I don't have enough. This is the last one. Alright, look how nice it looks like on the back. Usually, if I would have a knot, I would have like something caught around that knot by this point. But by weaving in the ends, I get to avoid that, which is nice. And yeah, having my left hand just feeling the back all the time, that helps me avoid getting those knots too. And really, actually having the shorter thread, the 24 inches, not like 3 feet of floss, that helps prevent knots too. All right, the back is just fun. I always like leaving the backs exposed too. I mean, you can cover it up with some fabric once you frame it and stuff, but it's kind of fun to see. I always like flipping around to the back. All right, I need some more thread here, so let's unroll a little bit more of this dark purple. We actually don't need too much anymore because we just have this little peak here and around there, so I actually don't need much, but I don't want to like cut a whole nother piece, so we'll get our 18 inches or so. Oh, thanks, Kathy. All right, I'm going to. Oh, this does feel short. Maybe I should have cut this a little bit longer. Not used to this short, but this is probably going to be the exact amount that I need, which will be good. All right, so I'm grabbing that one strand again and doing my little one strand pull. All right, let's get these together. So I can just tuck in the ends to where I left off again, so that doesn't waste that much floss. Ooh, I might be cutting it pretty close with the length I cut. I thought I cut a little bit longer, but I guess not. Yep, Robin, that's the black velvet I'm thinking of. All right, this is where I left off. I'm going to just go back and forth 3 times so I end up where I left off. I'm going to just pull those right to the edge there. I can leave them longer and clip them, but I'll try and leave it like that. And back. Okay, we're good to go. Get that last stitch that I missed. Black Velvet. I feel like that's one of those songs that if I started singing it, it would be like all the words of what they are in my head, and none of the words are probably the right words. That'd be interesting. Get that last little peek with a little stitch here. Oh, there is a blue velvet. You're right. That's feeling familiar to me now too, Gretchen. A little less familiar than black velvet, but I think I know what you're talking about now. Alright, I'm going to stitch this last stitch so I end up a little bit lower. And I am going to just jump. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough floss for this, but we're going to try. So I'm just jumping over here. It's just a little bit of a leap. Sometimes I don't like doing that because I do have a dark thread and you will kind of see that one little stitch. But I think it's not so distracting that it's going to be horrible. I could start with another away knot and do this bubble with that, but we just jumped over there today. So we're definitely finishing this outline. That's awesome. So tomorrow on this, we'll get these eyes done, the back stitch on those. Oh, and we'll do the little inside of the eyes too. We'll do these words, and then we'll start on all these little French knots. Once we get down to here, we'll grab those feet quick. You're gonna have to remind me to do those feet, so don't forget those. And just, I have this little speech bubble here. If you want to write something else in there, or if you don't want the speech bubble at all, just cut that part away from the iron-on transfer. So you could cut that little text out of there and then transfer the design, and then just take a pencil or a water-soluble marker and type something else, or write something else in there if you want. Oh, it would be cute to do like a little embroidery like this on the computer pouch. So the computer pouch that I made the day before I left, so on Thursday when I left last week, or that was 2 weeks ago actually, that was the night before I was headed out of town, and I needed a computer sleeve, and I needed it fast. I needed it that night. So we made a computer sleeve with a zipper and a little tassel and everything, all in one evening out of felt that was left over from the Betts White Little Felt Village project. And it totally held up. It worked out awesome. Ugh, and I'm going to run out of thread here. So, oh my gosh, can I stretch this? I don't think I can stretch this thread. So I need at least like 5 more stitches, I think. I'm going to just have to... We cut some more thread, I'll just use it. Oh gosh, I'm so close though. Let's try. I'm always annoyed when I'm this close and I can't finish it. Can I do 3 more stitches? Let's see. I'm doing this back stitch a little bit differently that preserves a little bit more floss, but it kind of isn't as even all the time. But let's give it a try. I'll show you guys how my we're gonna make it. How my computer sleeve held up tomorrow, and I'm shoving in things next to it and stuff. So I was thinking it was going to get pretty worn out. But I think it still looks good. I'll show you. Oh, yeah, it's up on YouTube. I think I have it as my featured video right now, Nolene on YouTube. But I'll show you guys tomorrow. Ugh, we have just enough thread here. It's going to be hard going back and forth 3 times, but we're going to get it. Okay, so I probably don't have enough to turn my needle around, so I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to put the eye of the needle in as my point. There we go. And I'm going to just keep pulling it through. There we go. That's a trick from my mom. Now we're going to snip that. Woohoo! All right, so we are done with that dark purple outline. And again, we did that cute little beak tonight, that little padded satin stitch. He's sitting up a little bit taller there. Awesome. So tomorrow we'll do these eyes. Oh, the French knots. So the French knots are all different colors. So we got some orange, some lime green, and purple. So I'm going to have this right next to me so I can like figure out which dot is which as we go through. Oh, red velvet cake. That's funny. Whole conversation on velvet tonight. Red velvet was, we had a carrot cake and red velvet cake for our wedding cake. They sure are, Robin. All right, so I'm taking it out of the hoop again, just because when I'm not working on it, I like to take it out of the hoop. It kind of relaxes the fabric a little. It can get pretty crunched up in the hoop if you haven't wrapped your hoop. But there we are. All right, I'm gonna flip you guys around, and we will call it an evening here. All right, you guys, I wanted to just give you a quick reminder that I am having this owl. It's 50% off till Thursday, so through Thursday. So if you want to get the kit, it is 50% off, which is crazy. I never do like 50% off sales, but it was just a quick idea, quick flash sale. So kits are the owl kits are 50% off, and you can link to it below here. And if you share this video, or if you share yesterday's video, or the next 2, Wednesday or Thursdays, you'll be entered to win this guy. So I'm going to give away this actual one that I'm stitching right now. I will be sending it off to someone here. So to be entered, just share one of these videos, one of these owl videos. This is the second one. And that's the deal. So awesome, you guys. Thank you again for joining me here tonight. All this will go up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube, and I hope you subscribe there, and I hope you like this page on the Penguin and Fish Facebook, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do more stitching. We'll start those French knots. See you later, you guys. Good night.